Year 1315. A significant event occurred. King Robert the Bruce of Scotland made a decision. He would lay siege to England's Carlisle Castle. The king expected a swift and decisive victory, but reality turned out much harsher than expected. The Scottish troops arrived to find relentless rain. Mud and downpour paralyzed all their plans. They tried to fill the deep moat with corn husks, but everything floated away in the rising water. Robert ordered a massive siege tower to be built. The English responded by erecting wooden scaffolds. They heightened the castle walls right before their eyes. The final assault on the stone walls failed. Arrows rained down heavily upon the Scots. Back then, sieges could last for many years, but Robert had to retreat after just 11 days. This event became a harsh lesson in defense. It proved the sheer power of European castles. But castles were not just for passive defense. They stood as symbols of ultimate power. They were private residences for the nobility. They were administrative hubs to manage the realm, designed to both impress and intimidate the enemy. Sometimes they served as bases for offensive attacks. They helped nobles control local populations, a promise of shelter or a threat of violence. The history of the castle goes back very far. Fortified citadels appeared as early as the 8th century, but European castles as we know them today only exploded in number in the late 9th century. That was when the Carolingian Empire began to crumble. Central royal authority was severely weakened. The vast kingdom was fractured into many parts. Nobles built castles to solidify their regional power. Early structures followed the motte and bailey design, a central tower placed atop a steep mound, with a walled courtyard at the base of the hill. These structures were primarily made of wood, but over the centuries, they grew more complex. They became the heart of social and cultural life. By the 12th century, stone began replacing wood. This increased their longevity and defensive strength. Stone castles were built to endure for ages. They utilized curtain walls and fortified gatehouses. Walls and towers were coated in protective limewash, turning gray stone into vibrant, colorful structures. Visual beauty was a way to project true power. Carnarvon Castle in Wales is a prime example. It was built with bands of different colored stone. Crusaders also brought inspiration from the Middle East. They incorporated intricate Byzantine architectural elements. But as castles spread throughout all of Europe, siege technology evolved to overcome them. Wooden structures were always vulnerable to fire. Though stone castles were much more fire-resistant, their internal wooden components remained a threat. Battering rams cracked open the strongest doors. Siege towers and mining were constant nightmares. Trebuchets launched heavy stones to smash defenses. They could destroy an entire sturdy structure. Rectangular towers were particularly easy to exploit. Square corners did not bear weight like round ones. The return of Crusaders changed the game forever. They brought home the design for concentric castles. These featured multiple rings of defensive walls, a circular fortress with layered security systems. From the 13th century, this design reigned supreme. It even stood firm against early gunpowder cannons. But by the 15th century, the cannon age arrived. The once mighty high towers became easy targets. Powerful artillery defeated all classical designs. Castle builders were forced to adapt quickly. They built squatter, sturdier, and thicker structures. Walls were reinforced to be 3 meters thick, but the construction costs were prohibitively high. By the 16th century, local nobles were bankrupt. They became dependent on strong central rulers. Only kings could afford to support modern defenses. Financial pressure and gunpowder ended the castle era. Their military dominance officially faded into history. Fortresses were gradually converted for new purposes. They became residences, administrative centers, or prisons. Today, they serve as popular tourist attractions. They are private estates of immense historical value. Though they no longer stop invading siege armies, they still retain their original majestic aura. The authority of medieval castles remains timeless. It is a splendor that time cannot erase. From Carlisle to Carnarvon, they tell stories of power, how humans built their dreams out of solid stone, the military strategies that once changed the world, and an era where the castle meant everything. Every stone is a chapter of human history. Every wall is a testament to perseverance. Even though cannons defeated the fixed stone walls, the legacy of the castle remains eternal. They are embodiments of ambition and endurance, an architectural symbol that never goes out of style. Even today, they remain incredibly powerful. Standing before them, we still feel their weight. It is the power of the past in our present, a magical connection spanning over 1,000 years. Look at the castle and see an entire era. An era of swords, shields, and stone walls. An era where every king craved his own fortress. And now, they belong to all of us. Castles are the eternal symbol of humanity.